Greetings and complications, my dear friends. Welcome to another video on our channel. Do you know where you are? You're at GMT-3, the channel that makes complications simple. If you don't know, you're on the world's largest Portuguese language watchmaking channel. And of course, I'm going to invite you to become part of our family by subscribing to our channel. Check out our straps, huh? Trimex straps, the official brand of our channel. If you want to take it a step further, you can also join our VIP Benefits Club. Click there to become a member and join our club. Giveaways, exclusive coupons, we have a WhatsApp group. Man, it's really cool. Come be part of this story too. Of course, I thank you immensely because you're supporting me here in my content production. In today's video, here on the channel, you're going to learn about Flieger. And I think it's really cool that this word, when I started here at GMT-3, was totally unknown. And today it's common for me to get questions from people. Leandro, what about a Flieger in the 3,000, 5,000 or 10,000 range? Anyway, the term Flieger has become well known in watchmaking here in Brazil. But Leandro, what does Flieger mean? Where does this term come from? In today's video, I want to show you a watch also called, look at this name, Biobarton Uhr. Observer watch, heavy, right? And Flagger pilot watch, German pilot watch. But this watch I'm going to show you is not German, okay? It's from Ali. So expect a watch that will have a little bit of that aesthetic. Actually, not just a little, a lot of that aesthetic. But in the end, man, you're paying 400 bucks for a watch that comes with a pretty interesting package. And here on the channel, you know, right? You see watches from 400 reais up to 400,000 reais. I showed a watch that cost 400 reais. 1,000 reais here, not just that. I even did a review of the Patek Philippe, which I saw there with the guys from iWatch. But anyway, here you have watches in all price ranges. Now the classifieds are coming, my brother. And get ready because you're going to see a lot of cool watches here on GMT-3 Leandro. What classifieds are these? For years I've been developing this tool to bring together sellers that I know do wonderful work. For years. And we're going to put all these guys on the same platform, which is the GMT-3 classifieds, where you'll be able to choose your next luxury watch. And you'll be able to get in touch directly with these people I trust who've been doing simply amazing work over the years. So stay tuned. In June, we'll have the GMT-3 classifieds up and running, but that's not what I'm going to talk about in this video. We're going to talk about a pilot watch which has German DNA. This story began in the 1930s. When the Luftwaffe, the German Air Force, needed to develop a tool for its navigators and pilots, right? That's where the name Observer watch comes from. The Type A Flieger was born, the Type A, which I have from Stoa. I'm not wearing it today, I'm wearing my orange Techno Skydiver. But the Stoa is at home and I have this Type A. In fact, Stoa was one of the 5 companies authorized by the Luftwaffe to produce this watch, both the Flieger Type A, right? And then a few years later, I think in 1941, the Type B came out, which is this little guy you're going to check out here. There were 5 companies. They were Stoa, Laco, Vemp, Lange, and IWC. These 5 brands produced watches for the Luftwaffe. You're not going to see any of them here today since we're discussing a watch from Ali that costs 400 reais. But it's a watch that has this Flieger Type B vibe. What are the main differences? Here you have the hour information grouped on an inner disk. And there, on the outermost layer, you have the markings every 5 minutes so that observers could collect the minute information in a way that's easier to see. Right? Since the hour information wasn't that relevant for them there in the cockpit of their Dorniers, their Messerschmitts and the like, they chose to give the minutes more prominence on the Type B dial, and that's what we have on this little guy here today. Here we have a watch, it's 40 millimeters. This little guy here has 45 millimeters between the lugs. In height, we have 11.5 millimeters, and here we have a 20 millimeter strap. This strap here is a leather strap, but it's not great. It's really thick, okay? It's going to be uncomfortable to wear. Of course, over time it will mold to your wrist, your arm, whatever term you use. It's a thick leather strap, which is good in a way, right? It means the brand chose to really invest in the watch itself and not so much in the strap. You can just swap it out and move on. But the watch is really cool, okay, for this price range. Actually, it costs 400 Rs because of the love fee, right? It actually costs 280 Rs on AliExpress. With taxes included, it ends up being around 400 Rs. The link to buy this guy is in the video description. Positive points that I liked about this watch. It's a really nice size. It has a pretty interesting case finish. A distinctive sign that a brand wants to show quality in its case is when it is satin finished, when it has this more matte finish. This here requires that during the making, the manufacturing of the case, it goes through a process of mechanical friction to give it this finish. This is of course an extra cost for the company. And in a watch that costs 280 Rs, my brother, of course we find this quite interesting. Another really cool feature this watch has, sapphire crystal. The case back isn't sapphire. On the case back here we have mineral crystal. But here we have sapphire protecting the dial, right? And here at the 3 o'clock position we have the traditional crown. That's it, this onion-shaped design here, right? We even have a tube here where this stem is inserted. A really nice quality, again considering the price of this watch. And here we have a dial clearly inspired by the Type B Observer's watch. As I said, it arrived for the Luftwaffe in 1941. A detail about this watch, which many people don't really like. It has a date window that's really small, but it's here at the 3 o'clock position. So the people who are more faithful to the original model won't really like the date window. Here we have a decent Miyota caliber, the Miyota 8215. This watch beats at 21,600 times per hour. It has approximately 40 hours of power reserve. And it has hacking and also manual winding. Its specifications are very similar to the NH30 and NH35. And in fact, they are competitors. In terms of finishing, we have none, even if you look at the watch movement with a macro lens. You can see some marks there that the guy in China put together with an axe. But anyway, it's here and it's working. I didn't do it. I didn't put this watch on a time grapher. I need to get a time grapher so I can let you know here in the videos about the accuracy of the watches. But in the descriptions of the watch on Ali, a lot of people commented about its accuracy. Nothing ridiculous, right? Nobody said, oh, it's 5 minutes off per day. But there were people saying mine is running 15 seconds fast. Mine is running 10 or 12 seconds slow. Anyway. Since these aren't regulated movements, not very well regulated, you're going to have a pretty big difference from one model to another. But anyway, we're talking about a 400 race watch, which is nowhere near reaching that level, not even close to a category like, for example, KOSK certification, right? So, my brother, if you want a watch with that kind of precision, you're going to have to reach into your pocket. Which this little guy here costing 400 will definitely fall short of. But it's a pretty decent watch, okay? I really liked it. Here on the screw down case back we have the indication that it's made with a 316 stainless steel case. It also has sapphire. And here the water resistance is 50 meters. I thought this font was way too big. But anyway, here's this information and the transparent case back. Decent watch, I liked it. What I didn't like about it, if I have to point out a flaw in a 400 Rs watch, it's this strap, right? And man, can you focus on it? The movement isn't regulated, not decorated, I don't know what else. Dude, this watch is 300 Rs, man. Plus the taxes. Really awesome. So if you like this style of watch, the Observer's watch. If you like this military theme, you have this watch here. You're checking out the macro shots, and if you want to buy it here at the link I put in the description. That's where I got the watch for a really good price. It arrived. It took about 20 days for the watch to arrive. And you already buy it with the tax included, right? So you don't need to wait for the mail notice to arrive to pay the tax. In other words, everything is already included. You just wait for your item to arrive in your hands. Did you like this watch? Did you enjoy it? I really like it a lot. I prefer the Type A, right? Even though I've already done some polls and Type B wins. Which type do you like on the Flieger? Type A or Type B? Leave it in the comments section here. And you just checked out the Flieger by AliExpress, made in Shenzhen. The Luftwaffe never even came close to knowing where this place is, but anyway, Shenzhen, China. This little guy I'm showing you here, that's where it came from. An option for you, really cool, really consistent, a pretty interesting package, a really nice watch for you to invest your money in. Leandro, durability, I have no idea. Leandro, if it falls on the floor, I have no idea. You're the one with experience. Put it there in the comments section. I bought that so-called Pagani. The watch arrived all broken, and to this day I hear about it because of that. But anyway, tell me if you have it or not. If you've already bought this model here. Put it there in the comments section. This was the Flieger. It's an observer's watch, right? Hehehe. But decent, 400 bucks there for you to spend on the watch and to have a piece that evokes something historical. Big hug. May God always bless you more and more. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. The Brazil Watch Show is coming. Get your ticket. We're still in a ticket tier at a really good price. August 20th, 21st, and 22nd at the WTC in Sao Paulo. Everyone who loves watches will be together in the same place. And I'll be waiting for you in Sao Paulo. The Lume. Yeah, I forgot to mention the Lume. Guys, I didn't talk about the Lume. I like the Lume application, okay? I took a look here with the macro lens. The Lume application didn't get smudged over the font. I really liked it. The hands follow, you know, the traditional shape of pilot watches. But it's painted blue, okay? It's not heat treated. Remember that it has this shade of blue to resemble those hands that are heat treated and take on a color. Usually a bluish color depending on the temperature to get that shade. But here it's just painted to give that impression. So you think it's heat treated, but it doesn't. It's just painted. If you want a heat treated watch, you're going to pay for it, and it won't be just 400 bucks. Big hug. I'm out. Bye.